The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
We have Serena fucking Kerrigan on the show.
In the studio.
In the stew. Making beats.
There's a red carpet outside.
Literally paparazzi everywhere because
Chasing us
the
in.
main character has arrived. You really don't need an introduction, but I mean, you're like the queen of fucking everything, literally.
Everything.
All things fucking and more. Mm-hmm. And just like one of the most authentic, real ass bitches on social media in general. But like, it's so rare to find people like you on the internet.
I find that you're the same way, though. You're so fucking genuine. Are we going to tell them about us meeting not in the studio?
Yes.
Thank God.
I'm honestly shocked that it just took us meeting last weekend.
Right. Well, you know.
Randomly, drunkenly, both of us in Brooklyn.
I turned a corner and then it was like,
yeah.
In Brooklyn.
And we both almost like weeped.
Literally. We were like, you don't understand.
I love you. But it is rare. It is rare. And like, I feel like we have to acknowledge that because just the internet and the world are filled with so much fake shit. And I don't understand, like, where did you come from? Like, where did you come from? How did you arrive to this moment? Who are you? And how did you arrive to like this reality where you were like, fuck everything. I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to be myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, it wasn't like an overnight thing. And also it wasn't like, I think I always get asked, like, were you always this confident? It's like, no, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, were you a woman in this planet? Like, no one. Like even like Beyonce, like, who, you know, is.
Yeah. Bow down.
Everything. Like, I'm sure she has her moments as well, because I think we all were born with confidence, and then we grew up, and then we started to be like, oh, we don't, you know, fit into this notion of beauty that society's projected, right? Or like created this narrative for us. But I will say, like, I think about it a lot. And like, yes, I changed my middle name to fucking. Like, yes, like I talk to myself in the mirror. But I also think that I grew up with a mom who like literally was like, nothing fucking matters.
Yes.
Like, she really, like, I remember when I was in middle school, we had to like dress up. You know, you always have to dress up and do this like plays and stuff. And like, she like dressed me in this like a sheet. She wrapped a sheet around me and was like, you're good to go. And I was like, but what if like the sheet falls down? Like, there's nothing underneath. And she was like, so what? Like, these boys never seen like a little nipple before? And I was like,
who cares?
And I literally was like, oh, you're right. And I was like, no, like, actually they probably haven't seen like a nipple before. Right? But like, that was always the mentality, like, literally nothing matters. And I think that, you know, obviously, like, as you're in your teens and college and even in your 20s, like, it's really difficult. Like, you feel like everyone's judging you and thinking about, no one fucking cares about you. No one gives a fuck about you. Like, we're all gonna die.
Oh shit.
And see, when I say that, people react so, they're like, wow, way to get morbid. But I'm like, no, like,
it's true.
It's true. Like,
it's true. If you're driving your car listening to this, you're not gonna die. So don't worry.
No, you're good.
We're not manifesting that.
I'm in New York City, bitch. We walk. Okay.
Exactly.
Like,
you could still get hit by a bus.
That's true. That's true.
So do what the fuck you want.
Exactly. Like, I think, you know, confronting mortality is scary, and like, I don't like think about my death that often, but I do think about the fact that, like, you know, literally no one is thinking about you. And if they are, like, there's one of two ways it can go, in the sense of, like, from a negative perspective. If they're talking shit about you, they're the main character of their own movie, so it's about them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I have a lot of friends that do give me constructive criticism because they want me to grow. And I think there's always opportunity for growth.
Right.
But like, it's so obvious. Like, even if I get a DM, like, how many DMs do you get where they're like going at you?
Oh,
and first
all
of
the
all,
time.
they never think you're going to respond.
No.
They think that you're like,
oh my God, no. They're like, I
robot.
can't believe you're talking about this. You're so fucking full of yourself. It's disgusting. I'll be like.
And then you respond and they're like, oh,
yeah,
you're real.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
what are you?
Wait, I never thought that you would see this. I love you. I actually watch you every week. Just kidding. Like, no, bitch. Keep that same energy.
Right.
But also acknowledge the fact that that's like your own insecurity.
100%.
And you're projecting that on me.
100%. And once you really can make that distinction, then it's like, do you? And also, like, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to speak out of turn. I'm very loud and confident in what I say, but I don't have all the answers. And there's been many times where I'm like, I was wrong, or like, I could have worded that better, or I don't mean to offend if I had, you know, and taking accountability, like, you move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, not speaking out, not being your true self in fear of what might happen.
Yes.
No.
I think there's too many people who are afraid to not be perfect. And
What
like,
is
what is that?
perfect?
What
Like,
is
what
that? What is it?
No, like, what is that?
Tell me. By definition.
Like,
Is it
when I
in the
look at you
dictionary?
and your face and your body and your energy, like I think you're perfect.
And
But,
likewise.
but we both could be like, pull out a notepad, bitch. Right?
Exactly.
So it's like, that's just not real.
Right.
I think the thing that I think has advanced me in my career, and I'm sure your own, is that we actually are just ourselves.
Yes.
And that in a sense is perfect.
But building a brand that is just you being yourself is rebellious. Like, it's rebellious. And there are so many people who can see that and be like, wait, how? I'm sure people ask you all the fucking time, how do you do it? Like, how did you do it?
But like, okay, beyond that, just building, like I chose the F word. Like to this day, and my mom is like my champion. She was the one who was like, who cares if they see like your name? She's
Fuck
Hispanic,
it.
so it's like she's like, fuck it. Like, okay. To this day, sometimes I'm like, introduce me as Serena fucking Kerrigan. She's like, pero ¿por qué tiene que ser fucking? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's by now.
Yes.
It's been almost a decade.
You
like,
know me.
It's fucking, right? But this is the thing. It's like, it is very polarizing. And I think when I was 18, I cannot believe I was 18 years old. I walked on campus of college and I was like, I remember just feeling like so fucking invisible. Like, no one was looking. It was obviously I was projecting, but I was like, I'm not pretty enough, skinny enough, like smart enough. Like I just felt very insecure. Like felt like, cause like no disgusting lacrosse player was looking my direction. Like whatever. They probably were. They're probably just too drunk.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really matter. But I was so like, okay, I have a choice here because it's this new experience and no one knows me. I'm like, I want to be recognized, but not for like my body or like anything, but just like my personality. And I don't know what fucking like light bulb went off, but I was like, I'm Serena fucking Kerrigan.
Yes.
And that's so, I can't even imagine 18-year-old me doing that. But I was like, And so many people were bothered by it. The sorority girls, my guy friends were like, no one's going to fuck you. Okay, trust me, I had a lot of sex in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. No
and
problem.
boyfriends
there.
too.
Yeah.
But like continuing on, like managers, agents, you know, tons of people, employers being like, don't put SFK on your resume. I'm like, I'm going to put SFK on my resume in hot pink with a crown on top of that.
Period. Yes.
Right?
Because this is who I am.
Because it's like, it's who I am. And it's like, if you can't understand the narrative behind it or the choice behind it, which was literally like, this is an empowered woman taking up space. And reminding herself like she's a shit. She's not condemning or like putting anyone else down, but she's just like, this is who I am.
Yes.
And if that bothers you, that you don't want to work with me, hire me, fuck me, hang out with me, then like literally I don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah. Or work with you. I say this all the time and people think that it's crazy because they're like, I've had people, even friends, who have hit me up and be like, listen, like, I understand that like you want to be outspoken and like speak your mind and like I think that's really cool, but aren't you worried about brands not wanting to work with you? And I'm like, if a fucking brand doesn't want to work with me because I talk about the fact that the way that a lot of these misogynistic men treat women is fucked up, or the fact that I talk about the government, or the fact that I talk about black-centered issues, then they can go fuck themselves.
Literally, it's just you don't want to work with them.
I don't want to work with them. I don't want to work with them.
100%.
It's not even so much about whether or not they want to work with me. I don't want to work with anyone that doesn't align with my values.
And I will say that, like, you know, I think if someone was listening to this, it'd be like, okay, yeah, you guys can say that because, like, you know, you have a following and that you've...
Right.
But I'm telling you, that was my mentality from the get. There was a massive, you know, back then, not anymore, because I think they couldn't keep up. You have to get with the times. But there was this, like, brand that was very female empowered. And, you know, they pitched me and it was in conversations, then they ultimately passed because fucking was in my bio or my name on Instagram. And I was like, that's so ironic that like a brand that's like all about female empowerment can't see past a curse word. Not saying that I'm flipping it on its head, but I was so true to myself, and so because I listened to my gut. And so, like, if you're listening, it doesn't matter how many followers you have or how successful you are. Like, that gut feeling of, like, no, this feels right to me. The right people are going to follow. And the ones that can't handle, you didn't want them anyway.
Exactly.
You do not want what doesn't want you.
Exactly.
Period.
I totally agree with that. And, you know, it's also the following came from that authenticity.
100%.
Like, for me... You know, obviously, yes, I booked Catfish and like those kinds of things. People seeing me on TV every week, that adds to the following. But
they don't have to follow you.
They don't have to fucking follow me. They follow me because they like hearing what I have to say.
They want someone with an opinion.
Exactly. And there's enough beautiful women out there to follow that don't have anything to say.
It's fine.
But not this one.
But also, it's like being polarizing gives you momentum.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you should be polarizing just to be polarizing, but like doing something against the grain that feels right to you, like that is actually what makes you stand apart. And it's so weird when we grow up to think like you have to fit in, you have to be like everyone else. Like I was never like that. I know that you weren't like that either.
No. Yeah.
And so it's like the more different you are, like that is so your power. Like even my mom like has the thickest accent after 25 years of living here.
I love it.
Someone said to her, "Do not lose your accent." And she's like, "What do you mean? Like I need to get rid of this shit." And they're like, "Don't do it. Like this is how people are gonna remember you." And like it's her gift. And like I love that that's part of her identity and that is her power.
Yeah.
And so fuck the haters, literally.
No.
Like so funny. Like,
Seriously. But also I feel like this is going to be a controversial statement.
we love that.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, so I feel like it is, and it is for some people because some people are going to disagree. But I think that being confident is a choice. I think that, yes, there are things that happen in our lives. You've had shit that happened in your life, I'm sure. I've had plenty of shit that happened in my life that could have knocked me the fuck down and not made me feel as empowered as I feel today. But I, similar to you, was in a fucking sunken place where I was like, nobody likes me. I don't really like myself. Like, I'm so sad. And then I finally was like, actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Like, I've decided that I don't want to feel this way anymore. I have decided that I'm going to take my own power back and stop relying on other people to give me the validation that I need to feel confident about myself. I'm going to let that come from within. And I'm not saying that it happens overnight, but it is a choice in your mind that you have to decide whether or not you're going to let other people dictate how you see yourself.
I mean, literally 100%. But there's so much unlearning that has to happen because I think that during the pandemic, actually confidence coached 150 women on Zoom.
Girl.
Because that was my way of making money. Like I was literally like, what do I do? Like I just quit my job. And I just started doing that because I was like, okay, I think I understand the formula because I got to there.
Yeah.
And I want to help other women and hear them out and like see if I can help them. And it ranged from ages like 14 to 60.
Wow.
Every single woman that I interviewed, basically, that I spoke to and coached thought that their reason for being insecure or their, personal plight was so specific and unique to them. I'm like, no, like you're not alone.
Yeah.
And that's so like that frees you from so much shame, knowing that no, it's like you are actually born with confidence.
Yeah.
When you grow up, someone tells you something mean, whether it's a parent or you look, at a movie and you can't see yourself in that movie or any movies, for example, right? Like, of course it's going to diminish. Or like the Victoria's Secret fashion show, like how did that exist?
Right.
Like, what the fuck was that? Like that did not help anyone. Don't get me wrong, those women are gorgeous, but I don't need to see that, right? Like what was that, right?
Right.
So obviously that like kind of eats away at you. And I agree. I think there was a point where you're like, you literally decide the identity of who you are.
Yes.
And it's such a weird concept, but it's like the second I started being like, I'm Serena fucking Kerrigan, I'm the baddest bitch here, like that's when it started to morph into that. So I totally agree. And like I've been getting a lot of DMs, and I actually talked about this today on my Insta stories because a lot of DMs are like, I'm going to a party and I just feel like I'm not going to be the prettiest. I'm not going to even be good looking there. Like everyone's going to be prettier than me.
No.
I'm like, and I literally responded being like, if you think that, then you're right.
Yeah, 1,000. If
Because
you
guess
think
what?
it, then you are right.
Beauty comes from fucking within, and I don't give a fuck how cliche that sounds. It's so true.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the most beautiful people are the ones that are like confident and like lovely and like I think you are one of the most beautiful people in the world because it radiates out of you. No, we're gassing you out.
Thank you.
That's okay. It radiates out of you. That's just like who you are, and so it's weird, but it's like you have to realize like you decide who you are.
Right.
I'm gonna get this job. Like I'm gonna go to this college. I'm gonna do this. I'm
Yes.
gonna succeed in my career. I'm gonna have a banging podcast.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen because you decide that.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen. And people,
Exactly.
like, follow.
But also, like, I think that something to that, like, I think that you are a beautiful woman, not just physically, but just like from your
I look
soul.
pretty bad right now.
You
Look
look
at this
like
outfit
a
I put
fucking
over.
gorgeous, sexy, hot bitch. But it's also the way that you uplift other people. If you could be the most physically attractive person in the world, I'm sorry, if you're a bitch.
And we know a lot of them.
We know a lot of them. Okay, some of your faves. If you are a horrible person, there is nothing about you that's attractive to me. I don't give a fuck. You could have the highest sitting titties in the planet. I don't care.
Thank you for reminding me.
I don't care. You could have the prettiest smile. You could have the most gorgeous, shiniest hair. If you are not a nice person, my mom would always tell me growing up, there's nothing worse than a pretty bitch. So don't be one. There's nothing worse than that. And if you can't uplift the women and the people who are around you, you're nothing to me.
But I'm telling you, like, and also reputation is everything. We live in a really small world. Doesn't matter what industry you're in or like where you live, like your reputation is everything. How you treat people is everything. It's so easy to be nice.
Yeah.
It's so easy to compliment someone.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It costs
so
you
easy.
nothing.
Also, an amazing combo starter.
Yeah.
Like if you're in an event and you're like, I don't know anyone, literally just go up to someone and be like, I love your outfit.
Yeah.
And it's like, boom, instant hit.
Best friends.
Ever.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I did that at Fashion Week. I went to Fashion Week. I felt kind of a little fish out of water because like I'm, you know, not part of that world per se now, but I am obviously because we decided that I am.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like I'm sitting in like my row, like I'm like, you know, and I literally just turned to the bitch next to me. I'm like, fire outfit. Like, what's up? Like, how's, you know, and like, it's an instant hit. And so it's like, I totally agree. I think that that's what confidence is. And I get that question a lot. Like, what is the difference between being, you know, confident and cocky? Or like, if lifting myself up, like, is that putting, you know, is that going to make people think that I'm arrogant? I'm like, no. Because confident bitches want you. They up
want you to be confident.
at the top of that mountain. They're like, the view here is so fire. Like you need to come up here.
Yes, yes.
Like when a woman speaks badly about herself, it really like it's the first thing I hear. Men too, but they're fine. Women,
they'll be all right.
No, like when I hear a woman say anything like, oh, I look like shit right now. I'm like,
yeah,
no, like you can't. We don't do that.
Don't talk about my friend like that.
It's like saying Voldemort. It's like saying Voldemort. It's like, we do not say that. Like, we do not say his name. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Because you decide who you are. You have to be the ultimate cheerleader. And you're allowed to say, like, I'm feeling like shit today. All right, fine. I've been hungover a couple times in my life. Right? Or, like, I don't feel my best. Like, that's fine. Because feelings go away.
Right.
But the way that you talk about yourself is the end all be all. So you got to bring it in.
Yeah.
Always.
I saw something, probably on Pinterest, something about like you talk to yourself more than anybody else talks to you throughout the day. So make sure you're telling yourself nice things.
No, you're your best friend, bitch. Like best friend. And I'm an only child, so I actually did talk to myself like a lot.
I can attest.
There's so many videos on my phone. On Saturday, like literally the other night, literally last weekend, I came home and I just yapping. Literally just like, I was really talking through something that was bothering me. Haven't watched it, don't like, but it was just, you have to, like, you are the base, it's just you. You come into this world alone, you leave alone, you have to nurture.
Yeah.
And so many of these DMs I get on Instagram are like, I feel like shit, I'm gonna be the ugliest, I can't even, it actually pains me to even repeat what they say because it's so foul, like it's so untrue, but for the story, they're like, I'm gonna be what if he judges me when I see him? I'm like,
girl.
Painful. But I'm like, I literally just go, if I, that's okay, DM'd you exactly what you wrote, what would you write to me? And they literally write out, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're the baddest bitch. And I'm like, literally read it to yourself, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, but you know you. Oh my God. I'm literally like, amazing. Thank you for doing the work for me. Because Because I'm like out here like, and she all these DMs, I'm like, what would you say to me? What would you say to me? And they're like, they write it all out. I'm like, great. That's exactly what you say to yourself.
That is the best advice because literally, if I'm sure you get the same thing I get, if I'm having a bad day, I'll get messages from people being like, you're the baddest bitch. You're so cool. You're so smart. You're so funny. I love everything that you do. Why don't you tell that to yourself ever?
Because I think that especially women, we're conditioned not to. Like we live in a capitalist society that's predicated on us feeling insecure because when we're insecure, we buy shit.
Wrinkle cream, retinol. Botox.
Bottega bag. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter, bro. Yes. But I do want another one.
Like I'll take a couple.
I'll take a couple, whatever. Feeling insecure today. No, but it's like, it really is a system designed, especially women, and also like, whenever I told the women that I coached, and in general, like, talk to yourself in the mirror, the instant reaction is like, that's so weird. And I'm like,
why?
So much of the shit that we're taught in society is weird, okay? Think about the fact that women couldn't work, vote, like, get divorced, sign a lease without a man. Like, that's fucking weird. We're human beings. The fact that women can't get an abortion, that's fucking weird, right? There's so many things that are taught to us that are normalized to us. And I'm like, why is looking in the reflection and seeing the person that you've been with your whole life and just saying, yo, I got you. I love you. Like, you're a bad bitch. Good job. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Like, why is that weird?
Right.
It should be the least weird.
Right.
And once you begin to normalize that and really make it a habit, like if there is a puddle on the sidewalk, you bet your ass, I'm like, hey, bitch, what's up?
That's why, you're an Aries. I don't think we talked about that yet. But you're an Aries, but you give off that Leo energy. I'm sure people
really?
think you're a Leo probably all the time.
Yeah. I mean, aren't they like the one and the same? Like,
I mean,
really?
yeah. Fire sign.
Fire sign. My
Just
mom's
like-
a Leo. That's probably why. Like
We cracked it.
Love.
Now we know.
And you're a Scorpio.
Now we know. I'm a Scorpio, but my mom is an Aries.
There you go.
Got that fire. Got
Be
that
honest.
fire.
Too much fire sometimes.
Yeah, too much fire sometimes.
But never enough.
But never enough. It can never be enough. Okay. So obviously, most of our episodes they have names, like we have topics, but like you are the topic of this episode because
compliment.
I couldn't think of like there were different ideas we floated around. You were obviously on my list literally from when I was even thinking about what I was going to do for this podcast. I was like, I have to have SFK. Obviously. That's like there's no fucking option. This is called Relationsh. I have to have the girl with
obsessed.
fucking as her middle name
Obviously.
on the podcast. But I wanted to talk about your whole if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. That's the topic. But it is all centered around you. So can you kind of like explain what that means?
100%. So it was during the pandemic, I met with this like human design reader, which by the way, if you haven't done this,
I haven't.
It's basically like a form of astrology, like with your natal chart and like your time of birth. And it's like kind of a deeper look into like your design of who you are.
Oh shit.
I don't know. We all were doing some introspective shit during fucking.
I bought a shit ton of crystals during quarantine. Okay.
I was like with every like healer, I was like
Yes.
zooming,
Fix
like,
me.
zoom, like I cannot. Okay.
Reiki my shit.
Literally everywhere. So I was like, yeah. So she said to me, she was like, for you, like, something that's intrinsic to who you are, it's like, if it's just not a fuck yes, it's no. Like, any decision, whether it's like what you're eating, at a restaurant, what shoes you're wearing, or a person in your life, like, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no, and like, just keep moving. Yes. And that stuck with me. Little did I know that phrase was coined by someone named Mark Manson, who's epic. He wrote the book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, I have that book that
amazing.
I obviously have not opened.
Right. The orange one. It's fantastic. No, but he's a genius. So then I went through, whatever, that stuck in the back of my mind. And then during the pandemic, I was, it's tea spillage. I mean, it is relationship. So we got to get through all the shitty relationships.
Spill it, bitch.
But I was like best friends with this guy. He was my best friend. And during the pandemic, we became really close. We like went away together on like a weekend, just us, but like we were just friends, but like it became really an intimate relationship. And I kind of was like, listen, like I think that we have the ability to like move this to level up, to like, like we're, relationships are all about communication and we communicate so well. So, and like we fucked before, so like why not again?
Yeah.
And it was just constant excuse. It was like, you mean too much to me. I would die if something happened. Like, but then it's like, but pulling me in and but like pushing, but then he was like, but like, I'm seeing this girl tomorrow night, but like, can you come over after? Like, it was just like, it was so toxic. And then finally I was like, he was leaving. It was summer of 2020 and 2020. Yeah.
It's a dark time for everyone.
Dark time. But such an incredible time too of like learning.
Yeah.
And I remember he was leaving and I was like, okay, like I got to do it. I got to give him the ultimatum because I can't do this anymore. Like I wasn't seeing other people because I was like, why would I see other people when my best friend and I are like talking every day? Like,
Oh, girl.
you
yes,
can't,
I
right?
get it. I know.
So I was like, all right, it's like do or die.
Yeah.
And he ultimately was like, no. And I was like, he was just like, we're just friends. I'm like, we're fucking not just fucking friends.
Yeah.
You kiss me on the forehead. You hold my hand. We go away for a weekend. We're
You're
not.
massaging my feet, bro.
Like, okay, we didn't go that far. But damn, you should have. Maybe that's what it was.
That's
Like,
what was
he did-
missing.
That was what was missing.
That's what was missing.
But I was like, and then I said to him, I said, okay, I totally respect your decision, but like, I can't like do this. And I cut him out. And then like a week later, I made this TikTok that went super viral. And I don't like, again, it's like when I changed my mind to fucking or when I started my dating show, it's like these light bulb moments that just like, and that's why like if you're feeling uninspired ever as a creator and in general, like it'll come to you. You just kind of sometimes got to walk away and like live your life and then some shit's going to like fire off. And I made this video and it literally was like, if he can't commit, like if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. If you're, and it really like, even to this day, even though I made that video and like he's out of my life and like I'm still dating and like even when I'm like texting my friends, I'm like, well, he says he's really busy with work. It's not a fuck yes, it's a no. It's a no. He says, he wants to keep things on a DL. It's a no.
He's married.
Probably.
It's a no, and he's married.
If he texts you one day, it's a no. Like if he wants to take things slow right now, it's a no. Like the person that you're supposed to be with, there's just not going to be any question.
Yeah.
You're just going to know. There's no insecurity. There's no confusion. And I was like seeing a guy this summer for a little bit, and like I was screenshotting every text, sending it to 50 people. You're like, what does this mean? What does this mean? I'm like, bitch. But see, like if it was right, you would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically the premise. And honestly, you can apply it to everything.
Yeah.
When I'm going through my closet, I'm like, not a fuck yes, not a fuck yes. When I'm buying something, I'm like, oh, that's a fuck yes.
Yeah.
That's
coming with me.
And people too.
Yeah.
And it makes it really fucking clear. And it makes it easy.
Yeah.
Because we live once. So only fuck yeses in your life. Did that
clink clink.
Yeah. Clink,
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 clink. I wish we had champagne,
That's
actually.
right.
This is natural spring water for anyone listening.
Delicious. It's a fuck yes.
It's a fuck yes.
But did that accurately explain it?
No, 1,000%. Are you kidding me? But I feel like we live just naturally as human beings in this gray area, like this constant gray area with people. And I like to say that I make myself very clear to the people in my life. Like it's very rare that you'll come across someone who will be like, I don't know if Cammie likes me.
Right.
Or not.
Right.
No, I will let you fucking
know. I know.
I will let you know. As
Once you like me, I'm like, damn, you really show up. You really do.
I comment on anytime.
Everything, no girl.
If I like you, especially like my creator friends, if I like you and you post like a sponsored post, I'm gonna be under there.
Yeah, it's
commenting.
Like, get that bread, sis.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, but you really do show up.
I do. Thank you. And I feel like not enough people are like that. But if I don't like you, one, I'm not fucking following you. I'm not commenting on anything that you post. Like you could literally walk through the room and I will not even look at you. Like that's how I'm very
Scorpio coming out of your veins.
1,000%. It's not even a question. Like, and I've had that before where somebody's like, I never know if you like me. I'll be like, no, you know I don't.
It's not a fuck yes, it's no.
You know I don't. So don't worry.
Well, I feel special
now. Worry. No, I love you. Okay. We didn't frame the question to our viewers as is it a fuck yes or a fuck no, just because then that would give it away. We're trying to have an element of surprise. Okay. So the question to our listeners was, is this relationship worth saving? So you're going to get to answer that with a simple fuck yes or fuck no, or give a little explanation if you want to based off of what they say. Okay. Is it a fuck yes or a fuck no if he's unpredictable?
I think it's a fuck no. Sorry. Yeah.
I think it depends. Is he unpredictable in the sense of like he plans fun dates? And,
yeah,
like, you never know.
What first came to mind, but no, like it should feel consistent. You should feel secure.
Yes.
And if it's you don't know when he's going to show up, when he's going to, call you, text you. No.
Yeah.
It has to feel secure in the relationship.
Yes. If you can't trust them.
I mean, bro. No.
Is everything going to be a no? Probably.
Okay, let's see.
Probably. What if their political opinions don't align with yours?
I think in 2021, it's a fuck no.
Yeah.
I just, it's a value thing. Like, it's how you see the world. I think, especially in the United States, it's pretty black and white.
Yeah.
Disease.
Yeah.
And,
literally.
It's an absolute fuck no.
Yeah. No, I couldn't do it. Truly.
I think couples that can are in straight up denial.
Yeah. Or you just don't talk enough. There's no way.
You don't talk at all. What do you mean? It impacts every part of our world.
Yeah. You'll be like, oh God, it's really hot outside. And the person will be like, yeah, climate change. And they'll be like, no. What? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Sorry. Is it a fuck yes or a fuck no if he dated someone else while we were having issues and arguing?
It's a fuck no, bro. What? So they were together?
Yes. Well, no. I guess that's unclear.
And I also say,
if they were on a break.
Curious what you think of this, but I find it. There's obviously exceptions, but rule: if you break up once, it's very difficult to get back together.
I mean,
it depends if there's been a lot of time. Like I know that people have found themselves later, but I've seen a lot of friends of mine and in general, they try it for the second time and it doesn't. It's broke.
Yeah. I've seen it though sometimes where people break up and they'll be broken up for 5 years and then they get back together, they get married, they have kids.
Right.
Great.
There needs to be a nice chunk of time.
Yeah. We
And
need growth. We need growth. The key is growth. But if you're just like, here's the thing. Because I have girlfriends who they'll be like, yeah, he fucked somebody else. But like, we were on a break. How long was this fucking break?
No.
A week?
See, excuses.
A week?
Excuses.
And he already found somebody? Because he was already working on that.
It's like, it's unbelievable what we can do to like excuse behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do it too. And I'm like, you know, I basically coined the phrase. I recoined the phrase. Obviously, Mark Vance, you coined it. But like, and my friends are literally like, if it's not a, didn't you say this?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. We will
Yeah.
go, because I think that it's hard. And I think dating is hard. And I think, you know, the potential is there, right?
Yeah.
We're like, but he'd be so perfect if that's not a fuck yes.
Yeah. He'll be a really good father to our future kids.
But in a couple years, you know,
Yeah.
if he went to therapy, then no.
Yeah.
He ain't in therapy now. He's not going.
Exactly. Maybe he will.
Maybe he will, but by the time he does the work,
You could have already met somebody else.
exactly.
So, okay. Is it a fuck yes or a fuck no if the sex is bad?
You know, I get this a lot. I think that sex is about communication, and like you should not write someone off if the first couple of times you have sex it's bad. Like I think it's really like almost like a language that you're communicating to each other, but that requires you to speak up.
Yeah.
These
Right.
bitches be faking orgasms. I'm like, how is that helping anyone?
I feel like I've seen you talk about, because you're so sex positive, and
Yeah.
I love that, but like I feel like I've heard you talk about the fact that people say all the time that they're faking
No,
orgasms.
you cannot do that.
Why are you doing
This
that?
isn't like an Emmy. You're not. There's no Emmy up for grabs, okay, bitch? Like what?
This
like,
isn't for Netflix.
Like one time I did it because I was like, I'm never fucking him again. Like get me the fuck out. Like he just gotta go. Like
Yeah.
it's gotta end. Like Like
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, it doesn't help anyone, and
No.
it's like you can't improve if you don't know what to improve. And I
Yeah.
think that some women feeling, you know, scared to like speak up. But it's like ultimately like sex is for pleasure. I think that women have been taught that sex is for male pleasure. We always used to scream like the penis. Remember the penis
Yes.
game? Like,
Penis.
Did we ever
Penis.
scream
Penis.
pussy or like vagina?
No.
That's my
And
case.
whenever we say it, it's always like, oh, you're a pussy, like in a bad way. Everything's like
Or
a
grow
negative.
a pair of balls.
Yeah.
If you hit a guy in the balls.
Weak.
And then what comes out of
Crumbling
a
in a
pussy? A
second.
fucking child,
Right.
bro.
Right.
Like, do you see
Life.
how we've? Oh,
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
bro.
It's the patriarchy.
It's too much.
It's rooted in
Weighing
everything.
on us.
I can't. Okay, is it a fuck yes or a fuck no if his mom is super judgmental and only cares about where you work and if you graduate college? So I guess like if the family is involved in some kind of way, should you write the person off?
This is hard because no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because it just depends on like, can this person separate?
Mm-hmm.
Like ultimately, like your relationship with your partner should not be, you know, super influenced by the parents. Obviously, it's gonna happen, but like that person needs to stand up to her parents and be like, "This is who I want to be with."
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
Yes.
Kindly.
Yeah, respectfully. Is it a fuck yes or a fuck no if my best friend of 13 years told our roommates that my father was deceased, ... He's very much alive, I'm assuming. First of all, punch her. What? Who says that? No, it's a fuck no.
100%
It's a fuck no and
But this
get a
is the thing.
restraining order.
And I'm gonna say this: if you have to ask the question,
Yeah.
you most likely already know the answer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When you know, and you have to trust your intuition.
There's so many that it's like so. Is it a fuck yes or a fuck no if he's 3,000 miles away and is not very romantic?
I mean, I think that you have needs. I think that like to write someone off, be like, okay, well, he didn't do this, like fuck him. No, that's not fair. I think you have to give people a chance to course correct or improve or even know. Like sometimes people just don't know, and I think that. Again, it's always communicating what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he's 3,000 miles away and he isn't being romantic, like I don't know how that is going to work for you and what you need in a relationship.
What about if one of you wants kids, but the other is unsure?
A friend of mine recently got divorced after and he's like in his 30s after, you know, being with his spouse, like, and they were together ultimately for like 10 years since college. And it came down to like, she wasn't down to have kids and he was. And like, what I think is interesting about that is like, she was actually never down. He thought that over time she would change her mind.
That happens a lot.
And I think like when it comes to having kids, like if someone's like they're not down, or you gotta kind of they're not. You know?
Yeah.
And you have to respect that.
I agree. And sometimes people change. Like Jeannie Mai just announced she's pregnant.
Totally.
And well, by the time this comes out, she would have already been pregnant. Probably already had the kid. But she's pregnant, and like she admits that, you know, she's publicly said she was never going to have kids. And then she met someone new who changed her mind, and like she just saw the world differently. And sometimes that happens. I've had friends who always said that they would never have kids, and then they meet someone who they decide that, I actually do want to create life with you. And like, but I think for myself, if I met someone and, you know, if I would have met Gordon and he would have said right off the bat that he didn't want kids, I would have been out from the beginning.
And the whole concept of like changing someone's mind for anything or changing someone, you have to accept someone for who they are. If they end up changing, amazing, but like that's not going to be because of you. Yeah,
exactly. That's going to be a fuck no. Changing anyone's mind about anything that has to do with being with you, I think is a fuck no. Right off the bat. Right off the bat. Okay, we have some voicemails.
Hi, okay, so I'm trying to figure out if I should break up with my boyfriend or not, because it's just like we argue a lot, and it's like we argue over every little single thing that we go through, and it just kind of gets to the point where, like, is it even worth just staying in the relationship with him? We've been together for 3 years, and even though there's most of the time more good times than bad times, it just feels like, what's the point of even staying in the relationship if all we do is argue?
Doesn't sound like a fuck yeah. I don't know.
Because you know what? Relationships have ebbs and flows. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to not argue.
Of course.
Like during quarantine, Gordon and I argued every fucking moment of the day.
But
we would wake
like,
up and start fighting.
Couples weren't designed to spend that much time together.
Exactly. Ever
in the history of ever
in life. We're never supposed to be up underneath each other the way that we were, and we don't even live together. We live in separate apartments, but like the whole idea of like quarantining together, everybody's doing it, and like, and also the fucking couples on Instagram that are like, we've never been better than during quarantine. So you're a liar. You're a liar. Okay, I wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill me. This was like a normal thing. It was a normal thing. So like you're gonna do that. Right. Where do you draw the line? I think that when your communication starts to have a breakdown, if there's not like a foundation of solid friendship underneath that, I don't think that you can survive a relationship. Like some relationships are based on different things and different needs, but for me personally, what brings me and Gordon back together every time is our strong friendship and like our bond.
Were you guys friends before you started dating?
Semi, kind of, sort of. We were like hanging out every single day. But
how long?
How long till I had sex with him, or how long until we started dating?
Both.
He had sex with him after 2 weeks.
Okay, that's a good amount of time.
That's a good amount of time.
I thought you were going to say the first night.
No, okay. I would have. But, you know, he was trying to be, he was faking on me. He was like, oh, like, I wasn't trying to, I don't want to get with you. I just want to be your friend. Or, yeah, okay. I approached you, buddy, because I know what I want and I know what I'm going to get.
Love.
And then 2 weeks after that, we hooked up, and then we didn't actually start formally dating. We met in May, and we didn't start formally dating until October.
Okay.
Because I was just like, I want to be 100% certain that I want to do this. And, you know, I think that over the course of our relationship, like, yeah, we get into arguments. Like, of course we do. But the fact that we have a solid friendship behind that like we built over those few months of just like dating and hanging out and like doing things and having conversations, like our values are the same. Our friendship, we respect each other. So whenever we start getting in these moments where all we're doing is arguing, we're always like, okay, hold the fuck up. Like, we need to focus on this. Let's focus on the friendship before we start focusing on the other shit. We do that shit all the time. We're doing that shit right now. Like, we're literally doing it right now, where it's like this catty argument shit is horrible. Like,
do you think that it also like, I'm thinking she was saying, like, we keep arguing all the time. I'm like, is it stemming from one particular, is there something that keeps coming up, right? Is it like one issue that is at the forefront, but it seems like it's being manifested into all the other things? Yeah.
Sometimes you have to literally sit down and have a real ass conversation and be like, Gordon and I do this often, where we're like,
you should.
Yeah. Where we're like, I'm going to say exactly what's on my heart and on my mind, and I'm not going to worry about hurting your feelings. Do the same back to me.
See, but that is why that's how you're supposed to do a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not easy because you don't want to hear the negative. Like, you don't want to hear it.
How are you going to improve?
How are you going to improve? There's no way.
It has to be raw honesty and safety. And I think that, like, I speak to a lot of women and they're like, I'm scared to bring it up. And I'm like, if you're scared, then you're fucked. Because, like, sorry, but, like, you have to feel safe in the relationship that you are.
But how long are you going to be scared to bring it up for? Like, how long are you going to be scared to have that conversation? Because then you're just wasting time.
100%.
And your own time and their time. So it's really just about, like, what you value. But no relationship is perfect. You're always going to have situations where shit goes up and down. But, like, do you have a strong foundation? Is there one particular thing that all these arguments keep stemming from? Is there something worth saving? And, like, really ask yourself, is there something here that's worth saving? And if it's not, get the fuck out. What are you doing?
Well, I think a lot of people are scared of being alone.
Yeah.
But by the way, like, it fucks.
Yeah.
It does. You have to date yourself.
Yes.
I have a question for you, though. Like, I feel like you're such a confident woman like myself and, like, very sure of who you are and successful and beautiful.
Thanks,
and
queen.
obviously, like, just saying the truth here. You know, I find that sometimes myself, like, it's a lot for men.
Yeah.
Straight men to, like, handle. And, like, obviously then it's, like, they're not the right one. I'm not going to change who I am. But there are moments where I'm, like, and I know I'm the queen of confidence, but hey, like, I'm being honest. There are moments where I'm like, fuck, like, you know, the world was designed for the man to, like, make money and be the star. Like, that's really what patriarchy is. But, like, now that women can start making their own money, it's shifted in a way. And, like, did you ever feel like you had to tone yourself down at all?
No.
Good.
Because am I going to? No.
No. I know. I'm just like, I can't. I can't do it.
Because here's the thing. So my boyfriend, he works in music. He's very successful at his job. I am his biggest fucking cheerleader, and he is mine. And I'm not going to cheer harder for you than you're willing to cheer for me. And if, you know, where we're at in life matches up, sometimes things shift. Sometimes he's doing quote unquote better than I'm doing, and vice versa. And if you can't be, like, there riding for me and, like, cheering on the sidelines for me, I don't fucking want it.
Right.
I don't want it because I don't want anybody that's gonna be like, oh, really? Like, you're gonna go host that show and be on TV every week for everybody to see? Like, do you? Well, what about me? Like, are you still gonna have time for me? If you don't get the fuck out of my face,
literally.
No,
I know. And I'm like, you know, it comes up a lot. Like, even just like with how sex positive I am, and I know it makes people feel uncomfortable, but, like, my whole point is that, like, why?
Yeah.
Like, men can talk about sex all the damn time.
Yeah.
Why can't we talk about sex? Why can't women own sex the way that men own sex? You can love sex and also be super smart and poised and classy.
Right. Which you are all of those things.
And and, like, that's what I really, like, I feel like my brand, I really want to, like, show. I'm like, you can be so many different facets of an identity, but like sex in particular, it's like if you talk about sex and you're crass or you're gross or, like, you know, like, what the fuck?
I don't get it.
I like to fuck. Like, so do you. Like,
right.
Sorry.
So let's talk about
also,
it.
that's why we're on the planet Earth.
Right. Right. But do you ever worry, like, whenever you go on dates and stuff and you post, like, oh, I'm going on a date tonight, blah, blah, does it ever creep you out, the fact that, like, they can literally look you up and see you talking about the date?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought this up because I think this is a problem in my life. So you know what the fucked up thing about Sex and the City was? Other than the fact that there were, like, no black people and, like, you know, Carrie was the star.
Yes.
Was the fact that they never like, Carrie was, like, out here, like, writing about all of her friends and her Mr. Big.
Yeah.
That never came up.
Right.
No one was like, you wrote about me, bitch. Like, oh, like, what's going? That never came up.
No.
So I'm out here, like, chronicling my whole dating life like Carrie.
Yeah.
But I'm Samantha, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm getting hit with, like, you were talking about me on this, or like my no, it's been coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up.
It's
that, like, I
up.
do talk. Listen, I try to be very sensitive and not, I don't like try to roast guys.
Yeah.
On, you know, I never name names.
Right.
But I also think that, like, it's important to be honest. And if I didn't really, like, if I really liked a guy, I probably wouldn't talk about it in my stories. But, like, if it's far gone and, like, then I'm like, why not? This is all for the plot. It's good content.
It's for the plot. Do it for the plot.
But then I'm afraid that I'm gonna scare other guys off because they're gonna be like, damn, she's gonna
Right.
roast me if we go on this date.
Right.
Which like I think happened the other day.
What? Really? Oh my God.
We're gonna talk about it on podcast. Let's fucking go. Okay.
Oh my God.
Basically, I hooked up with this guy and like made out, like nothing too
Yeah.
crazy. And we were really vibing in the morning. And like, you know, in the morning, like you don't know, like, is the guy gonna like run out while you're
Yeah.
like, we just don't know. Like, and it was like great energy. And sorry if I'm going off on a tangent.
No, what the fuck?
Okay.
I want to hear
Yeah,
every
you're on the
single
edge.
last
You're on the
detail of
edge
the
of your seat. I
story.
can
Yeah.
see it.
Hello.
We all got.
I'm like, did you make pancakes? Did you make eggs? Like,
on a
what did
podcast.
you-
Are you fucking
This is the
kidding?
exact problem that he probably has. But anyway, go on. We don't care about him. It's for the plot.
Literally, I'm doing exactly what, like, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Setting up the story. So we hook up. Like, he's friends with my friends, and he's a Libra. Damn, I'm giving too much information now. But anyway, he's a Libra, Aries. That's a really good vibe. Anyway, in the morning, it's just like he was cool. Like, he really like was like fun. Like, we just like good energy. And then my stylist like barges through the door and is like, "You're going to LA. Like, we have work to do here."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, you're right." So I like leave my bedroom and like just start like throwing clothes, like doing different outfits. It's so fun. I love style sessions. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm also hungover, which is like the best version of me because I'm just flying, like bouncing off the walls. Like, I'm unwell. My hair's matted. I also like have that post, not
Yeah.
sex glow, but like a glow, like a vibe, right? Like like a guy was in my bed last night.
Yes.
And he comes through my bedroom and like literally is like fascinated by what we're doing, sits on the couch and like vibes and like stays maybe like 10, 15 minutes, but it's like asking us questions like, how does this work? Meanwhile, like I'm like literally just like, but like was very like curious. Oh my
Yeah.
God, the bar is so low. Like, oh my God,
He cared about me changing clothes.
Are-
No, but it actually seems sweet because, like, you see, if obviously people can't see my face, but I'm like, oh, that's sweet. He sat down.
He
Like,
sat
that's
down and
nice.
asked a question. Wow, the bar's so low. This story's almost over. Basically, that's ridiculous. But I felt like, wow, he's confident enough to just like chill like, for a second, which is crazy. That like again, like I think that's like, oh my God,
Yeah. Well, because a lot of guys would be like, okay, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna head
like
out,
clearly
like-
you're busy.
right? Or like, what are you doing? Like, what's a style session? Like,
Yeah.
you're an influencer, bleh,
Yeah.
right? Like you know,
Right.
like not the vibe. So
Right.
I like that. Asked me for my number, leaves. I ended up seeing him that night. Oh no, sorry. I went on Instagram Live after he left. To like show everyone the outfits, super fun. And my stylist was like, "Oh, there was a special guest here this morning," and I was like, "Yeah, like he like how cute was it that he like sat down and like asked us stuff? No mention of name, nothing."
Yeah.
Later that night, I ended up seeing him out, like kind of serendipitously, and he was like, not in a mad way, but he was like, "I was getting blown up all day because of your IG Live." He doesn't follow me.
But how the fuck? So you told everybody that you were going on a date with SFK, though, bro. Obviously, because why
you
would they be
must-
blowing
like,
you
why
up?
would people know, bro? Like,
Just because you don't have a platform to say it on, but you told everyone that you know that you were
like,
going on a date.
I don't. Well, we met out at a party, but it's fine.
But no,
It's-
he
like,
told everyone
but,
that
like-
he was going on a date with you, and that's why they even saw the live.
I just don't like. Yeah. I just like it. Just felt for a moment, to be honest with you, I was like I was so like embarrassed. I was like, see, this is the problem. It's like being that public persona, and like how much do you share, how much you don't share. Being a creator, there's no rule book here.
Yeah.
Like we're out here, like I'm having a conversation with you, and I fully forgot that like there are gonna be people listening, and I don't care. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Again, we are authentically who we are,
Yes,
right? And if
exactly.
we make a mistake, we apologize, we move on.
Yeah.
We don't do it again. But it's like that kind of dance of like, you know, how much do we share and how open are we? But talking to you, and it just reinforced that like you have to be yourself.
What
and
can
you have
you
to do what
do?
the fuck you want to do. And the right guy's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, I wish you would have added me. I wish you would have
Yeah.
said my name. I
Yeah.
wish you would have put me on the live.
Right.
Right?
So what is he like? Are you guys not gonna go on another date? You think?
Kimmy, just for the record, we never went on a date.
Oh.
We met out.
You're like you keep
we have
saying
mutual
date,
friends.
and that's not what.
Like, that's like not what happened. Like we were with friends. We
Well,
met.
will you meet up with mutual friends again?
So okay, so this is the thing. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about, so like usually I'm like, oh, you know, do I make this first move, right? Because I know that men, they like, they're hunters and they
Yeah.
like feel. How do you feel about that?
No, that's the truth. They're hunters by nature.
Right.
They want to come. They want to
So
be
there
the
you go.
ones to come
if
to
he
you.
wants to, if he wanted to, he would. I'm chilling. I'm a hot bitch.
Yeah.
I'm making my money. I'm
Yeah.
concentrated on my career. I'm 27. Like it'll work out.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna end up seeing him like in a couple weekends, maybe next weekend, like at a party that we're both invited to. So what should I do?
We need to
Should I be like,
update.
should we go live?
We need it. This is supposed to be us giving advice to other people, not giving advice to each other.
But how relatable this is. How relatable is this? Sorry.
I love it though.
I'll stop talking.
No, I think if he can't be down, then he's never going to be down.
There you go.
So like, this is your
If it's
life.
not a fuck yes.
It's a no.
It's a no.
Sounds
See?
like a no for me, babe.
Sounds like a no for me too. But this is
I
why
mean-
it's also important that we are honest about our experiences.
Yeah.
Because like then you're like,
Yeah.
we're all going through it, y'all. No one has all the answers.
And I have a lot of creator friends who are like dating, and they're like, well, he said he's not into social media, so like I'm not going to post him, but like maybe I can post this on my close friends. And it's like, you want to respect people's boundaries, obviously.
Of course.
Like that's a part
And
of it.
there's a fine line.
There's a fine line, and certain people have certain boundaries, but like in coming over, he knew. He
knew.
obviously knew, and he told all of his friends that he was going on a date with you.
How could he not?
Which is
why
why
do you keep saying date?
I mean, sorry. Sorry.
Bro, he didn't even ask me out.
Sorry. I feel the same way when people are like, oh, your ex. I'm like, we were never together. Okay? It never happened. We never went on one date. Anyways.
good.
But no, okay. He told everyone that he hooked up with you. And that's why they were all fucking waiting for the moment that it said Serena fucking Kerrigan is going on live.
Yeah.
And clicked
They
it.
were on the edge of their seat.
And they were waiting for the news. So like,
And he liked it.
he
Bye.
loved it. He
Probably
loved it.
loves this right now.
Exactly. He's listening like, yeah, it was me. Just so he can text you and be like, really? Again? Like, yeah, again.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh my God. I could talk to you all fucking day.
Same
Truly.
shit. Like, we went on such a tangent.
Truly.
Do you want to like?
I know we're supposed
We can
to
edit this part out. Like,
Yes. No. What? No. That was for the plot, and it was fucking great. And if you end up getting married, we talked about it here first.
It's all for the fucking plot.
It's
bitch.
all recorded.
It's all for the plot.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here.
I love
Truly.
you so much. What a
I
gift you are to
love
this
you.
world. I
love
adore you. Beyond. You're literally my best friend. Bye.
Oh. And we love all of you listening. Thank you for listening. Oh, tell everyone where they can find you.
Serena fucking Kerrigan. Like, bitch. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
Yes.
Facebook.
The world.
The world. But yeah,
universe.
just like go. I want everyone to go to their mirror after this, look in the mirror and be like, I love you. I got you. I'm here for you. You're a bad bitch.
Yes.
Like, just do it.
The same way you would talk to your best friend. Talk to
The
yourself
same way
like
you
that.
tell us that if
Yeah.
we were coming to you.
Yeah. Unless you hate your best friend and you hate us, then don't say any of that shit to
Then
yourself.
stop listening right now. Have a good day. Please.
Yay. Thank you.
Love you.
Hi, I'm Cami Crawford, host of the Relationship podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more videos, click below to subscribe and like this video for more Dear Media content. So shut up and listen.